Blessings and abundance, soul family. Welcome back to the Zen Effect Show. This is a globally syndicated talk show supporting you in navigating life's highs, hits, and everything in between. Here we have soul-rooted conversations with people in music, entertainment, entrepreneurship, and wellness. Be sure to join the conversation. Follow me on Instagram. I do answer DMs, The Zen Effect Show. Facebook, visit my website, thezeneffectco.com, and all the things, you all. This is an ecosystem that we are building here. This is not just a broadcast. You can also listen on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, and listen live on WBNC Breaking Chains Radio, where we play in 80 plus countries every Tuesday at 6 p.m. Eastern. You all, I am so excited for this lovely divine. She's just angelic, honey. If y'all could feel, you may see it through the screen. Her aura is probably radiating, but you could just feel her energy in the space. This conversation is going to get deep, and I love it because that's what we do here on the Zen Effect Show. So let's get into it. Don't you hold back. She won't. I absolutely love it. You all, today's conversation is with Savannah Sage. That name, honey, right there, Savannah Sage. I know that's right. Founder of Paradise Park, a breathtaking 8-acre riverfront wellness sanctuary just outside of Atlanta, designed for rest, renewal, and holistic living. But this space didn't come from theory. It came from experience. As a former TV executive, we're going to talk about that. And Microsoft tech contractor. So you went, we're going to talk about it. Look, I'm ready to dive in already. She went from stress to calm real quick. We're going to talk about it. That's been the theme for today, by the way. Many people, I'm sorry, I just had to pause in the middle of your bio because many people have went from very high-level corporate positions into entrepreneurship and doing what they love and their passion. We're going to get into it. But this space didn't come from theory. It came from experience. As a former TV executive and Microsoft tech contractor, Savannah knows firsthand the weight of high-performance environments. Yes, she does. My gosh. And she jumped from one to another. Literally, from the TV executive to Microsoft tech contractor, you jump from one to another. And the toll burnout can take. Her own journey through burnout became the catalyst for something bigger, creating a space alongside her husband and children. Y'all are doing this together. That is fabulous. Where others can rest, restore, and rise, honey. And she is rising. Yes, as a family unit. I love it. Now she helps caregivers, professionals, and high achievers recognize burnout before it consumes them. Woo. She was brought here for me today. God sent me an angel, okay? And more importantly, teaches them how to come back to themselves. Welcome, Savannah Sage, to the Zen Effect Show.
Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, we're just going to dive right in.
This is joy. I feel the joy. That's what I feel coming from you.
Thank you,
so
lovely.
I love that.
Thank you so much. We're going to jump right into it. So you literally went from a TV executive to Microsoft tech contractor, now to owning Paradise Park. Please walk us all the way through that journey. My gosh.
Yeah, it was a journey of a journey that most of us are going on, a journey of self-discovery, right? I was a television editor. This is back before Tyler Perry descended upon Atlanta in this way. I was working, back then we only got commercials and things like that. I used to be a television editor for CNN. And boy, you talk about pressure and stress. Ooh, I bet we're reporting the news, honey, like if that tape don't roll, it looked like, the world is gonna end. So I think that's when you really kind of reminded me, that's where my relationship with anxiety and stress around high performance began. And then I am a self-taught solutions architect and network engineer for companies like Google, Microsoft, Amazon, many others. I have
All the big
had
wigs.
a very strong tech career, and I still have tech clients. But during that time, I started again to hit a wall. I've been in Atlanta for 30 years, and one of the first courses I took at Clark Atlanta University was yoga. And the instructor taught me that the way that you breathe, the way that you sit can all impact your digestive system, and just how you feel. And so that was my first clue after growing up in a family that was plagued by illnesses. My grandmother had a double mastectomy and tracheotomy. And I know I say that fast, but think about it. Watching your grandmother, who raised all the grandchildren, be speaking out of her neck. I saw her in my aunt's home in the back room dying of breast cancer. My grandfather died from a brain tumor after surgery. This is a very strong man, worked in the steel mills of Cleveland, Ohio. Raised a family. Not my grandmother, my father, who retired from NASA, died from congenital heart failure. So when I was growing up, people would tell me things like, "Well, your grandmother had breast cancer, so you're probably gonna have breast cancer." I'm like, I'm 13. I'm just getting breasts,
Yeah, wait,
like
right.
this is like unfair, and so you start off in the world thinking that I'm going to be sick. You're programming yourself to be sick. So I get to school and I learn about yoga, and then I had this issue, right, where I couldn't do like number two.
Yeah.
I'd be kind of shy about saying stuff like, but, and so I didn't know what to do. I was so ashamed, like I couldn't tell nobody. But I told somebody, and they told me to go to the legendary herbal store, Seven Nanda.
Love Seven Under. I love.
Honey, and they gave me something looked like leaves, and I said I would take crushed glass if it would send me to the restroom. So I took them leaves. I just put them on a spoon. I didn't even know what to do with them.
And you just put them in your mouth.
And,
You said,
and
I need to
honey,
take
yes,
this.
and all of the flow came back. And I said, okay, so now I didn't go to a hospital. Somebody gave me this leaf, so I know this came from a ground. So there's something that I can do.
Yeah.
And as fast forward, as I've been in my corporate career, raising my family, been married 24 years, kids, I hit a wall. And I was so fatigued, cycles was off, all of this. I was so fatigued to the point that I would just lay in my walk-in closet on the floor because it was the only place I could get blackout. And it just seemed like the life was oozing out of me. And I said, I got to do something different. I heard about a retreat here in Atlanta. And I'm corporate, baby. I'm a city slicker, as we call it. And I'm
Yeah.
like, honey, these bohemians, what are they going to
Right.
do? They're going to try to hug me. They're going to try to take Jesus from me.
They're going to want me to hug a tree. What is hugging a tree going to do for me?
Like, I don't have time to play these kind of games. Yeah. And then I said, you know what? Just you don't know everything. There's a lot of times we get up in these corporate spaces and we think, honey, my doctor, my insurance, my benefits, honey, these people who don't have this kind of access, they don't know, And so, and I'm being honest, like, I was like, what are they going to do for me? But I went, and it was the opposite. It was the traditions, the indigenous traditions that grandma and them knew when they was having 13 kids, while right now we can't even have one child. Yes. You know what I'm saying? Yes. The traditions that grandma and them knew that could keep you well, keep your butt in school, and raise you strong. You know what I'm saying? Without a lot.
Yes.
And definitely without no insurance. So that's how it moved in. So from that, I started using the holistic principles and studying, with other herbalists, studying the herbal philosophies of the greats, Dr. Lila Africa, Dr. Sebi, all of that, Queen Afua, all of that. And then I started to develop my own system, an indigenous biobalance holistic system, because I realized it's not just ordering the herbs, it's not just going to Pilates, it's not just being vegan, but it's that plus some, especially when you go through the perfect storm. The perfect storm is two or more things happen to you in a short period of time, and it sends you reeling, right? And you can't catch your breath.
Yes.
And sometimes you need to come and you need to get in a cocoon, and you need to go ahead and go through that process to come back out on the other side stronger, And so, I
would love for you Tears are coming up for me seriously right now because
Okay.
what I'm about to ask you, I believe you have a whole word. My God, tears are like,
Mm-hmm.
woo! She have a whole word. I'm ready to receive. Oh my gosh.
Mm-hmm.
Not just for me, but for the viewers.
Mm-hmm.
How do you come? Not how do you come? I'm gonna set up the question and you go with how you feel led to go.
Mm-hmm.
Shifting out of the high performance mindset.
Amen to that.
But corporate does put that high performance, high performance, high
Mm-hmm.
performance. And it's not healthy.
Mm-hmm.
It's not healthy.
Mm-hmm.
It really can affect your mental health.
Yes.
Because I come from a life coaching background, I'm able to support myself with that,
Yes.
but I really have to monitor.
Yes.
I have to monitor
Mm-hmm.
because
Yeah.
you know,
Uh-huh.
she know, honey.
Yeah.
TV executive, tech, and all that
Mm-hmm.
stuff. She knows. Support us today,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm gonna let you just
Yes.
flow. Just
Yeah.
support us, please.
Yeah.
Yes.
So right now, what's happening? See, so when I was coming up, I can remember when the TV used to go off at midnight.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't on Netflix and chill. All right. If you wasn't at home, then you missed the call. Somebody called you, you went home, you missed the call.
Mm-hmm.
So there was time. It was already self. It was a time of pause built into our lives. Right now, what you did with it was what you did. But the point being that right now is no time for pause. It's just constant input, just constant input, and that's leading us to overstimulation. And we're told that in order to live our best life, then we have to accept this way of living, and it's almost making us like robots. But see, a robot doesn't have a lymphatic system. A robot doesn't have a womb. A robot does not have an infinite spirit and emotions that translate, feedback into the body. So we cannot pursue what we are attempting to pursue as if we were a robot. And
Mm.
so when we understand what we really are, a divine intelligence, we understand that we are a being that has integrated systems that are very sophisticated, right? Because our lymphatic system, our fascia system,
Mm.
our endocrine system, our nervous system, trillions of cells, then we begin to approach the body, mind, spirit, and emotions with that reverence. And I call that body temple awareness.
Mm.
And so when we do approach it that way, then we say to ourselves, and let me give you a story to help you understand of how you approach yourself in that way. When I was about 19 years old, one of the first volunteer opportunities I had was holding babies. And everybody know Hands on Atlanta, baby. We in Atlanta.
Yeah.
Hands on Atlanta.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Before it was a Uber, I used to do Meals on Wheels. We used to take meals to the sick and shut in and all of that. But this particular time, I was going there and holding the babies. We just come sit in a rocking chair and hold the babies, rock them. Orphaned babies, right? It's just a row of cribs, and you just pick up one, rock
And
it,
just
pick
rock
up the
it.
other one.
Wow.
And so I said to myself, because again, you just start observing self. No, you say to yourself, like, okay, so these kids don't have clothes, they don't have a family, they don't have nowhere to live, but these people saw fit to invest in these kids having someone hold them and nurture them.
Gosh. Mm.
So,
Wow.
because see, this is what,
Wow.
even though those were babies, we're not babies, but we're humans. Humans need the nurturing and the care. Our nervous system, you want to rock that nervous system, baby, just like that baby. You want to put your food on your plate, just like you feeding a beautiful baby. You want to talk to yourself like you talking to a beautiful baby. And you don't let corporate make you talk to yourself. Oh, you got to do this evaluation. This does not perform.
Right.
We're not going
Right.
to be
Right.
in that. We're going to step out of that. And even if it means, because I have my schedule is full, I'm very much a high productivity person. And
I'm
sometimes
your
before,
sister right here because I'm also a producer. I also produce.
yep.
Yeah.
And you got all the power. See that power. We have to respect that power. And just like before I came in here, I asked the gentleman out there, can you open this back door? Let me just step out here. Let me look at this greenery. Let me breathe this fresh air before I come in here so that I can respect my temple real quick so that it can bring me the clarity. One time I went on a 21-day raw fast. That changed my life. I realized how spiritual food is because that lightness, I had more clarity to be creative. So it's not stressful for me to come up with ideas and to do things or to figure out anything. Clarity, I call it the inventor effect. You always hear about people say, oh, I was just walking through the forest, and I saw these butterflies. And then all of a sudden, I saw it so clearly. The blueprint for the laser. That's when it happens. You're in a shower, warm water flowing on you. You're at peace. And doggone it, in the shower, do you not have ideas? You be like, if I don't trip and fall getting out of this shower, honey, I'm about to change my life. If I go write this down, you know what I'm saying? So that's how we do it. That's part of it. I have a whole system that we implement at Paradise Park because sometimes you just need support, right?
You're
I feel like
1000%.
saying to the church, say support.
Right. Support. Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Because
Yes.
it was a time I used to think I could do everything. I do my own hair, I cook my own food, I clean my own house. Like, who can't clean their own house? No, me.
Right.
I need to have the cleaning service come in. I need to sometimes have meal prep. I need help. And so that's what Paradise Park is. It's like, babe, the people who come to me, it's like, now I'm waking up with a Dell headache every day. Now I am feeling tension all up in my body, my digestive system. And so it's a lot to try to manage on yourself. You're overwhelmed. So you come to Paradise Park and get a reset.
And what does this reset look like? Like, how long is the reset? Are there different times? Like, maybe there's a reset you offer for 2 days. Maybe there's 8 hours. What does this really look like, this reset?
It's amazing. It's sometimes.
Gosh, the way she said that, I'm like, are y'all doing one today? Because she said, it's amazing. I said, well, sign me up. Take me with you.
So I'll tell you
Yes,
this.
yes.
There's a lot of information out there about how to live holistically,
Yeah.
whether what you're going to eat, what you're supposed to drink, what kind of water, this, and that, right? But we've narrowed it down to a system, and it's 3 pathways, 5 essentials, and 12 principles. So I'm just going to tell you like the 3 pathways.
Okay.
And this is how we set up our resets that are anywhere from 1 day to 1 day on campus to 3 to 5 days or more on. I had some HBCUs approach me to bring their students for 30 days on campus, or a 90-day program where it's part remote, part on campus. And the way that we start to build out what it is you're going to experience when you come is through the 3 pathways. So it's internal work. That's your diet detox, mindfulness, journaling, your sound therapy, internal work, right? Then there's external work. That's your body work, your spa services, your mobility stretch, your Pilates, those types of things. Then it's your environment and this is the one people miss the most, all right? Because we can exist outside, but we can't exist without outside, right?
That's right.
The environment, right?
That's true.
Everything that we need and everything that we have is coming from the earth.
Right.
So Paradise Park is an 8-acre waterfront estate. It's wrapped in nature. You're up in the trees. And just being outside in the forest for 3 hours will enhance your immune system for up to 30 days.
Did y'all hear that?
You want your immune system enhanced? I'm like, is this on?
Right.
Do you want your
And
immune system?
that's your camera right there. Let the people know. Yes.
Do you want your immune system enhanced, right? And what does that mean, right? This system that's built with the lymphatic system, the fascia, the nerves, all of these systems flowing and feeling good and feeling buttery and juicy and happy, you're going to be able to create and manifest anything like that. And also, if you have any spiritual inclination, whether it's Christianity, Islam, whatever, spiritual, whatever it is, you should know. I hope you believe me when I say that your body is a temple. And what's in that temple? the temple, that divinity. You know, that's what's left out of the corporate review is the divinity that got you here. You know, the divinity that
Mm.
is going to bring you to a clear understanding of your path and
Come on.
your purpose
Mm-hmm.
and what in the world is you here to do. Like, why did you end up in somebody's body growing and then you were ejected out into this?
Yeah.
For what?
For what? I love what you said. You had mentioned about as like robots don't have a lymphatic system and corporate's not looking at the divinity of you. My gosh, when you said that, that was just so grounding. Did y'all feel that? That was just so grounding. Don't allow them to put you in a tailspin because the truth, my emotions are going to be very present on this episode because the truth is, no matter what happens, that's not the end all be all. And no matter what happens, you're going to be all right because of that divinity.
Yes, and what they really see, they don't. Sometimes people can't name what it is they respect, but they're expecting. I mean, they can't name what it is they expect, but they are expecting you to be show up, magnetic, powerful, calm, able to problem solve. At the highest degree, the higher level of the problem, the more complex the problem you can solve, the more you're getting paid, you know. So
Right.
for me in technology, when my client, if their network goes down, even for 1 hour, they will lose multiple millions of dollars. And they call me in. I mean, this is a real situation, actually. They call me in to fix and prevent those things from happening. And the pressure is on me then,
Right.
right?
Right.
You know, and so I've experienced that in a deep way. And what I had to do is I have to be very calm.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
I get 30 people on the phone. Is it fixed yet? Not quite yet, but we getting there. We're going to fix it.
You just said something else that just really, something came alive for me. The higher the salary, the more complexity you got to deal with. And I don't know if people really realize that. I think they get so fixated on, I want to make this amount of money. I want to make this
Oh,
amount of money.
come on now.
But you're not understanding it comes with something. It comes with something. I would love for you to speak. Gosh, how did you shift? Because from a TV executive, hold it, because I got.
And I want to say,
How
I want
did
to
you
correct you just
shift?
a little bit, Zen,
Yes.
because it's a television editor.
Sorry, television
Yeah, and I was
editor. I'm
did some
sorry.
producing too.
Thank you, because you did say that. Thank you. A television editor to the Microsoft tech contract, Amazon, all that. That's a huge shift. The calmness in your life right now, the peace. And see, this is purpose on purpose. I'm about to shift my question because something alive is coming up for me. This is in purpose on purpose because I'm sure you see a lot of individuals. Would you even say majority of individuals? Like, I just see a big number of individuals you can recognize in real time what they're experiencing due to your experience.
Yeah, and then too, again, this word, I'm not ashamed to say I'm an empath, even though everybody says it, but I can tune directly into somebody's feelings. And it could have to do with me being a television editor, because after you do all the shooting, the editor is right here on the film. Like, we're looking at everybody's expression, we hear every noise, we see the things that everybody missed. So when I observe life, I observe it in that way. And sometimes that's why even certain things I can't look at, I can't hear, because it resonates too heavy with me. So I do have guests, and so that activates the caring in me, right? As a Black woman, I mean, I'm sure that all kind of cultures, they nurture one another, but in our culture as Black women, we've been nurturing the civilization since the beginning. We
Right.
birthed the civilization. We've nurtured. We take care of other people's kids. We took care of other people's families. We cook other people's food. We took care of their house, and so that's in me. Right. And so, grandma take a baby, that baby be half like unconscious. Grandma take that baby, bring it back to life, a plant, whatever. So I had that grandma in me. And so when someone calls me and says, yes, I want me and my friend to come because my friend, just a couple months back, she woke up with amnesia, and she had amnesia for 2 months. And I'm like, Spirit is telling me, like, baby, we did that for her to wipe her hard drive. It was overloaded. No more information could get in there without breaking her. So we wiped it. Or somebody who is an executive and then they have a mini stroke. It's like, dude, what? I'm talking to doctors. I talk a lot of doctors come to Paradise Park, okay? And I'm gonna tell you, if you want me to, I can talk to you about where I was with doctors. But
Please do, because we
yeah,
just had someone come on talking about physician burnout. So please, yes,
yeah, I'm gonna tell
please.
you about that. But I was talking to a doctor, and she said one of her patients came in with having that stroke, and she said there was no comorbidities. There was no reason why she. But 90% of doctors' visits are because of stress and tension, right? And so, back in the day, I started to have resentment towards the doctors because every time my family members would go to the hospital, I'm thinking they're going to get better. Because when I heard that my grandfather had a brain tumor, it shocked me because we got a lot of family. And that's one of granddaddy, like what granddaddy is going to say, it was a big deal. And so, you have some people that feel safer with their grandparents than they do with their actual parents. And so I knew if something was to happen to him, that would shift everything in our lives, even at 10, 11 years old. But then they said he was going to go to the doctor and get the brain tumor removed. So I'm thinking, oh, yes, it's going to work. And then he dies 2 weeks later. So I'm thinking the doctors, and they do this and they do that. But then I had some doctors come to Paradise Park, and she said, I love Paradise Park, and I want to recommend people to come here because as doctors, we want to do the best we can for our patients, but there's only so much we can do. And I saw it immediately. After you run down your liver for 40 years, after you run down your womb for 30 years, after you run down your nervous system for 25 years, you cannot come sit on a bed in a white room and expect somebody with a white coat to fix it without a pill and a scalpel. They're good at stabilizing you if you cut that off your arm or something.
Right.
But if you are having open stress loops from trauma because I've had people come to Paradise Park on the anniversary of being attacked. People who have seen their loved one. There's this particularly person I'm thinking about. Her husband of 40 years died in front of her, and she didn't even know how to think about moving forward in life. And so after she left, like 6 months later, she had finished her book that her and her husband started together. She wrote about Paradise Park in the book, so we are in books.
I love that. That's fantastic. That's the best for
Yeah.
marketing right there, Love
Yeah,
it.
it's in a book. And so, that is what we're seeing. And that is what I realized that I was gifted with that because even as a child, I just felt like it wasn't supposed to be like this. Like when I approached my grandfather because my grandfather, he had like the biggest house that I ever seen a Black person have. He had a big ranch style house, a huge lawn in the front, like acres of land behind. We used to run out there. And he was the type of person that on the weekends, one weekend he'd bring all his granddaughters to come and take us to the movies and get pizza for us, which was a big deal because back then you couldn't eat out a lot. And then on the next weekend, he'd bring all the boys and do the same thing. And so when he came from the hospital, he was sitting in a chair, and I said, Granddaddy. And I saw that he was just vacant. He just wasn't there. And I'm just thinking, for some reason, I felt like it's not supposed to be like this. This is the only thing I can turn that what I was feeling into those words. It wasn't supposed to be like this.
Yeah.
And so now when I hear these stories and stuff, See, I like know what to do because I'm a herbalist. I'm a holistic living specialist. I'm a herbalist, agriculturalist, sound therapy practitioner, thought mastery practitioner, and then I'm a holistic chemist because I can make anything for your skin, for everything that I use on my
Holistic
body.
chemist. That one's new to me.
Oh yes, baby. Let me tell you something.
Yes.
That experience. Have you ever made products?
I have. I've made like bath
Okay,
bombs, but I
okay,
haven't
that's
made like
fine.
topical like
That's
lotions
fine.
or
When
anything.
you was making a bath bomb, was there ever a point when you didn't remember like exactly what the ingredients you put in? It's just like
Yes,
cooking.
yes. I always say I had my
Right.
recipe written down that I had to always refer
Mm-hmm.
back to, and then I would tweak little things.
Right. And
Yeah.
see, I would have to record myself when I'm making, I have a skincare line, a
Okay.
natural skincare line. I
Oh,
have to
nice.
record myself making it because it's just like how your grandma knew. You said, Grandma, how did you make this XYZ?
Right.
And she'd be like, Girl, I just put a pinch of this, a pinch. You try to make it, and you'd be like, I know my grandma don't be lying, but
This
I
don't
did
taste.
exactly what she said. And it's
It's not
like,
doing what that.
but she know, she can feel it.
She
It's
can.
not this much salt, it's this much salt.
Exactly.
She know. And so that's why I say a holistic chemist because I have a relationship with the plants and the herbs. And I can go into my apothecary if my kids, and they do, my sons are athletes, and my husband, married 24 years, two sons, they come to me and it's like, okay, tell me what's wrong. And then I just go to mixing. And that is a holistic chemist to me.
Oh, that's fantastic. I absolutely love it. I love that because you channel that basically. It seems
Mm-hmm.
like you channel that. You're
Yeah.
like, it's necessary for me to create this, and you're literally channeling it.
Yes, and I understand what the plants do. You
Yes.
know what I'm saying? Like when you are really like you become a herbalist, it is understanding the plants. Like George Washington Carver said that he would go out in the fields and stuff. And I've read about a lot of what they call medicine women back in the days
Yes.
before they were really outlawed. The midwives were outlawed and all of that, right? But I heard and I saw myself in them, and they talk about how you just start to understand it. Let me tell you something. We have a registered farm in Paradise Park.
Hmm.
So we have extensive gardens. I grow 30 to 40 different plant foods and herbs. Plants from all over. Like we have longevity spinach. We have
Wait, talk. Whoa, hold it. What is longevity spinach? I
that's what
love spinach, and I want longevity.
that's what I'm saying.
Yes.
It's the plant kingdom. It's just amazing. Longevity
Wow.
spinach in China, they call that the plant that cures 100 diseases. I didn't say it. That's what they call it in China. Okay, longevity spinach, and it's a prolific plant. And see, when you watch these plants grow, when I'm in the garden growing these plants, see, everything we need to know is in the garden. So, for instance, one thing that I always God teaches me something from the garden every time I step in there. But one lesson I had was God was saying, every time you step in this garden, you need to bring scissors. Because one of the main things I do is I prune. And you know the
Mm.
scripture, like if you
Mm-hmm.
bear if you for those listen, I don't know the whole scripture, but it's like for the things that do bear fruit I prune or so that it can bear more fruit, you
Right.
know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Right.
And we constantly have to prune in our lives.
Right.
We have to prune the way we operate. We have to prune relationships. We have to prune. And so he was just showing me that it's important to always be ready to cut,
Yes. Woo! Be
you
ready to
know.
cut, 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 cut.
Hmm.
Prune it, prune it, prune it. I
Hmm.
think instead of saying cut off, we prune off.
Hmm. Yes, that's what it is.
it.
Because see, the
Yes.
relationship, see, a
Yes.
lot of times we have a lot of hurt
Yes.
from a church, females, relationships, and stuff like that, because we don't see it as pruning.
So Paradise Park is for whom? Who is Paradise Park for?
Paradise Park is for those who believe in investing in their longevity and their legacy. Our
Mm.
mission is to inspire women, thereby families, to fulfill their legacy by engaging in holistic living. It's for high productivity people. It's for people who are in their perfect storm and they need a reset. It's for people who are at a fork in the road, or it's for people who really value a depth of self care. I call it after going on tour. You know, you've been on, listen, Beyonce, honey, she was on Cowboy Carter tour. After she got off that tour, what she have to do? Sit her behind down
Yes, she
for a
did.
minute
Yes, she did.
so that she can come up with the next tour.
Yeah,
Right? You
yeah.
can't Cowboy Carter Renaissance tour, then you got the XYZ tour. You got to stop for a minute. So it's all of those profiles for Paradise Park, and we've had every last one and some more.
It sounds like a deep intentional pause
You know, it
within yourself to connect with yourself because you're coming across so many energies, and that's high performance, right? Like she's
mhm,
got to remember her dance moves. She's got to make the production because she's very hands on
mhm,
with that
mhm,
too. The production is top notch. All the
mhm.
different things to pause, and then also I love how you mentioned Beyonce as an example too because she also has a family on
Family.
top of that. So you honestly got to take even a step away from that
Mhm,
after you go on tour because I just you're not able to just be so high performance, then go back into the household,
mhm,
right?
mhm.
It's really
Yeah.
gathering yourself. And you had mentioned even the unraveling. Can you talk more
Mhm.
about that?
Yeah, so what ends up happening is when we are like, I'll give an example of the perfect storm.
Okay.
Two or three things. Okay, I just had a season of the perfect storm.
Okay.
My house got flooded. I was in a car accident, and my mom was not in the best health that I wanted her to be in.
Wow.
So I found myself it was just like I'm just trying to beat in my head that everything
Yes.
is going to be okay.
Yes.
Everything is okay. Everything is things I know. But I had to call someone who is assigned to assist me in getting back in my right mind because I got to get back in there quickly. Okay. I got to get right back in
Immediate.
there quickly,
Yes.
quickly,
Yes.
because quickly is a good way to say it
Yeah,
too.
click because it's got to.
Quickly.
I like that quickly because it's got to click into place right now.
Yes,
Period.
because I
Period.
am
Yes.
going,
Say that.
going, going. And so
Yes.
I had to go and I had to enlist my wellness practice because I have a team of one. I don't mention that a lot because people be trying to come get my wellness practitioners, but I have amazing wellness practitioners too. People who have traveled the world and know how to do this healing work on your womb, baby. We could touch that womb. Don't get IVF yet. Okay.
Woo.
Let me touch that womb, baby. All right. Come on.
Powerful.
Come on. You
Powerful.
listen. Before all of this stuff,
Come
I
on.
remember when I first had my children, my first child 20 years ago, and I was asking one of my best sister, cousin, friends, like, my stomach is just big. Like, what am I gonna do?
Yeah.
She was like, I heard you gotta bind your stomach up. And see, little did I know this is a practice. Back then I
Really?
didn't know. Yes, you bind your stomach. Sometimes they call it closing of the bones or just a stomach bind, right? It's a lot of practice. Even the yoni steaming, the Mayan
Yeah.
massage,
I love a
the
yoni steam.
yeah. And so, are you familiar with Mayan massage?
No.
So that is an abdominal massage
Okay.
because we get our head massage, we get our feet massage, our back massage, but
Yeah.
all your organs is right here. You know what I'm saying? And so when we hear massage, hear oxygenating cells, moving lymph, right?
That's so
And
important to move that lymph, that
mm-hmm.
lymphatic system. Yes.
Yeah, and then the abdominal clay mask. People don't know the powers of clay.
Yes. Tell
Um,
us some of those powers.
Draws out toxins.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God, clay is so amazing. That's in my skincare line. Yes, the clay mask. See, back in the day when you would see people in different countries, they got clay on their face and they outside butt naked. A lot of times you say, oh, we've been taught to say that person's uncivilized. Baby, that woman is using the earth to pull toxins out of her face. And she's out there butt naked because number one, these people have character and love, and ain't nobody gonna hurt her or touch her
Yeah.
or see her
Yeah.
in an objectified way.
Right.
They're going to see her as divine, and she's going to get airflow to her body. You know what I'm saying? And
Yes.
so we draw on those indigenous principles. I ain't saying you're going to be around there but naked now. Okay? Except for when you get in, out, sign, and all that kind of stuff. But I'm just telling you, these things, these practices we need. And so
Yeah.
I don't know if I answered your question because you want me to say something that I said
Hey,
before
we're
and I can't
flowing. I love
recall.
it. Hey, we are
Yeah.
flowing. You answered exactly. You spoke exactly what was necessary for the listeners.
Mm-hmm.
Cuz you all she's channeling right now.
Mm-hmm.
And this is beautiful. And that's what I love about this platform
Mm-hmm.
because I hold the space for people to just flow
Mm-hmm.
because it's about getting the message out.
Mm-hmm.
I believe everybody who's listening today, it's intentional. They
Yeah.
were meant to listen
Oh yeah.
because there's a message that you messages, honey, because she done got a whole book on this episode. I trust you're taking notes. Maybe transcribe. Okay, seriously.
Mm-hmm.
So you can refer back to it because there's so much beautiful information
Mm-hmm.
and insightful gems that you are giving today.
Mm-hmm.
Seriously, everything that you are saying is recalibrating the
That's what we say.
internal
Yeah.
side
Yeah.
of people because I feel it in my body right now.
Right.
Before you walked into this room, I had a whole different energy. You felt it.
Mm-hmm.
Then when she came in the room, it just recalibrated. And there are areas in my life that are necessary for me to center and ground.
Yeah.
And that is doing that.
Mm-hmm.
So when you say you do sound healing, your voice is a sound healing.
Thank you.
It really is.
And that's what we do. We recalibrate the nervous system, right?
Yes.
That's the exact term that we use.
Okay.
Because a lot of this is kind of intangible for people to understand, even the term channeling. But I would tell you that as a technologist, I understand these things really deeply because we are a technology, right?
We are.
So
We
like
are.
I understand how whoever's watching this, they're getting a signal from now into that device. I
Yes.
know it is it's a
It's a
frequency.
frequency.
It's called wireless fidelity.
Come on.
And so there are frequencies and there are frequencies that we can't see it. It's like oxygen. We can't see it. Try living without it though. You know what I'm saying? Like for just a short period, And
Facts.
even when you talk about that, the breathing. See, I had a 3-day breathwork seminar at Paradise Park that changed my life because of course for the last 3 years I've been working Paradise Park and we've been doing breath work, I thought, but we ain't even breathing. None of us are breathing right now. Okay. This breath work seminar, and we now incorporate into our services the 45-minute breath work session to deep breathe because see, someone asked me, what is the greatest gift in life? Right. I thought about my family. I thought about many things and they said, breathing.
And it's free.
What's the what and it could be free at times except for the toxins and stuff that make us
that's
need
true. To talk about, come on.
hyperbaric chamber.
Come on, it
or
could
be to get out of the city where there's all this pollution and get into the forest.
Speak
and
that
breathe,
truth. Speak that truth. Yeah.
And so that is our first job. This is our most important job is breathing. And who instructed you how to do it? Did you get a degree in breathing, city slicker?
Come on.
You know what I'm saying?
Health class, they didn't even teach you how to breathe. Which when you put it in that way, it's so interesting to me. The things that are necessary for us to learn, such as breathing, emotional regulation, emotional intelligence. These things, they're not taught. These are the things that are necessary for education.
Yeah. Because you're being taught how to be a robot,
Yeah,
That's the lesson that you're supposed to be picking up.
Yep.
Is how to be a robot. And so when we turn back to our divine humanity,
Come on.
that's what's going to bring us peace. So our motto is peace and bliss, and we were talking about like the grocery store and stuff. And even just like what you're saying, what I'm saying to you, see, it's a constant when people come to Paradise Park, this is a constant reprogramming back. Like, come on, let's go back for a minute. Wow. Okay. Look at this tree. All right. You see this tree right here? This tree is your friend. These things growing out of the ground, this is your food, okay? Not the stuff in aluminum foil. You don't see, we grew up in a time like When I was coming up, you could not get some of this stuff. My mother and father wouldn't even buy that stuff from the store. They had a limited budget and they buying food. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Or grandma and them growing food. My mama had a garden. You know what
My
I'm
grandpa did
saying?
too. That's what our
So
fruits and
now I
vegetables
have to
is.
go back and teach you this is food, baby. This is what food is. The 5 essentials at Paradise Park for holistic living: power, nutrients, pure foods, hydration, harmony, mind body alignment, and nature immersion. Okay, so whatever you're hearing about holistic living and how to
Yeah.
live a good life, and you're confused, center on those 5 things. Center on the 3 pathways: internal, external, environment. That's going to help you. But there are times, like I said, when again, I got so busy at a time. I'm like, look, I need somebody to cook, and I need somebody to clean, and I need somebody to come and work on me.
Yes.
Because I have Paradise Park at my house. Okay. I already had a garden. I've been gardening for 5, 6 years now. I have spa areas in my house,
She said areas in the plural, not the
saunas.
singular.
It
Yes.
was necessary because
Yes.
when Microsoft call you and say, "Baby, we got to fix this," I was running portfolios, technical roadmaps for companies making 60 million and up. They don't want it. They don't care. If you got a
Yeah.
dull headache, what? What you say?
Yeah.
It's like no.
And then they're probably going, did you take an aspirin? Did you take, like, they don't even care about that, but it's
They
just
don't want to
like,
hear about that.
fix it so you can get it done. That's what they care
And
about.
we are taught to be like,
Wow.
yeah, that's exactly right. Because we
Yeah.
become a manager and we do the same thing. That's why we have teams that come to Paradise Park. We've had a group of 100 doulas come to Paradise Park. We've had from some of the one of the biggest publishers in the world. They brought their team to Paradise Park.
Wow.
Teams, because it's not about another meeting. It's not about another workshop. When you want your team to carry that mission forward, they need to bond, they need to gel, they need to refresh. And so that's what we do at Paradise Park, and we do it differently than anyone else. You don't have to get your passport out to get to Paradise Park, most likely, but you'll feel like you did because we don't make it as commercialized. Like, we're wrapped in the trees, but 25 minutes from downtown Atlanta. That's why I say it's a godsend. And one of the times where I really needed so much encouragement in what I was doing, and I asked God for encouragement, and He showed me something. I was getting ready to have a meeting with somebody, and she had sent me a link, and she said, "Was this your inspiration for Paradise Park?" And I'm thinking, she doesn't even know me, but let me look at this link. There was a Paradise Park that existed before.
Really?
Yes. Now, this is 3 years, 2.5 years I've just learned about this about 6 months ago. There was a Paradise Park that existed before in Ocala, Florida. And it was a place, it was during segregation, and it was for colored people only because we couldn't go to Silver Springs, Florida. So they had Paradise Park. And when you look at the images, I bought the book. It's a book called Remembering Paradise Park. And that solidified for me that this is what was supposed to be in the earth, a sacred space for those who need refuge the most.
Okay.
And that is what that was then, and that's what it is now.
So would you say, just my mic, pause, 3, 2, 1. Would you say that our natural state of being is really that peaceful bliss? Because we're being trained, right? And programmed to be like robots. But our true natural state of being seems like that peace and bliss. So if you're feeling that if you're being called more in that direction, that's in alignment. Because I feel oftentimes we will dismiss that call because, no, I'm supposed to operate like this. No, you're really supposed to. It's calling you back home.
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing. Like, we're going to work, we're going to hustle hard, we're going to grind, we're going to do all of those things. But we
Yeah.
have to give back. Like, when the kids outside playing and stuff, it's like a lot of it goes back to when we were kids. I always say we learned everything in preschool. They read
Yeah.
to us. We had
Yeah.
a little book club. We used to have a little nap.
Yeah.
We have activity time. You know what I'm saying? And so now, if you just think about your child, when your child come to you screaming, you like, slow down, breathe, breathe. Okay, now get calm. Tell me what's going on. Let's figure it out. Right? But we do to ourselves. No, we got to keep going. I need a triple shot of, whatever. I don't want to say no names of
Yeah.
anything,
Yeah.
but
But
you
yeah.
go in the lines and you get all this caffeine. You're not saying to yourself, okay, let me calm down. What am I saying? What am I
Yeah.
feeling?
Yeah.
You had time for that after
Yeah.
your conference call. Go sit in the corner like you
Yeah.
used to do in preschool.
Yeah.
Sit in the corner and breathe for a minute and say, how did I feel as a result of being around that person? What they said to me, what did that say to me? What I made them feel, what happened in this situation, and then you will get clues for your next step. It's the still small voice, a whisper saying, turn to the left and turn to the right. And God knows we need it because you're trying to figure out, how am I about to pay this bill? How am I about to get this? And then God be like, I was trying to show you. Okay. The other day, I was in a very stressful scenario, right? And I said, God, just give me guidance. I'm driving down Camp Creek Parkway and I see a pig. A literal pig.
What?
I mean, I'm talking about a literal pig
On the road?
on the sidewalk.
Sidewalk.
And there ain't really no sidewalks on Camp Creek Parkway, really,
Right.
right? And so this pig he was close to the road. He was on the side of the road, and I had to look up the symbol of that and all of that.
Yeah.
Because
I'm big on that.
that
Yeah.
quick, God was showing me something, and that broke it all down for me. But because you on the phone cussing somebody out because you stressed and you drinking caffeine, you ain't even see that pig. You ain't even think.
It.
You weren't paying attention. But it's not by accident, any of these things, including you being here. It's like 6 million sperm that's trying to get to the egg. You know what I'm
Come on,
saying?
somebody.
I mean, like, I don't know the exact numbers, but it was a divine situation. Just the fact, and even when you talk about growing a human being inside the body, I was just looking at these ladies who were advocating for somebody having birth at the hospital, and they took them. They had the police come and eject them from the hospital. And just recently, the city of Stockbridge gave them an award for that.
Wow.
Because that lady was forced into an emergency C-section that she didn't, according to them, she didn't need because they weren't allowed to advocate for her. So we have to have sacred spaces where our care is put above, what you need to do to get dollars. Because grandma and them wasn't doing C-sections.
Right.
When they was dueling and midwife, and now like 80% of the people getting a C-section, I was forced into a C-section. I was being mistreated in the hospital when I was having children.
Wow. My last question to you is this. What do you say to spaces, particularly corporate companies, that believe that high performance plus the wellness aspect of everything we discussed today can live together?
Listen.
I love her facial expression when she said it. Yes.
Listen, the big companies do know. I work with them.
Mm-hmm.
When I was at Microsoft, we was flown to San Diego. We were put on a beach making sandcastles, baby. Okay? When I worked for Google, they were sending us to Italy and Spain. We had restrooms, not a restroom, a nap room. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
Because they know that that's how we're going to perform better. Like the big companies.
The big companies are actually doing this for people.
A lot of them. Now, I'll say I'm in technology, so that's another thing, right? I mean, we're very necessary for the company.
Clearly, because other departments do not experience.
So I don't know if that's happening in the other departments or not.
Okay. Everybody getting the tech.
I was working like Nike, just different places,
Yeah.
right? I've seen this. Matter of fact, I think it influenced me in what I'm doing.
What? You're gonna have to come back. No, seriously, because I want a whole nother conversation in relation to that.
Come on to Paradise Park and interview me.
Yes. Okay, let's do it. I know that's right. She said, come up to me to Paradise Park. I love it. Please let us know how to connect with you. Where can we go to Paradise Park? Where is it located? All the things.
Yes. Paradise Park. Let me just tell you, when I think about it, it just makes my heart smile because I have to go there. If I don't go there for 2 days, I feel the agitation setting back in. Paradise Park, you can learn more about us at paradiseslife.biz. That's paradiseslife.biz. Catch that message. And then on Instagram, you can hear a lot of the stories of those who have been to Paradise Park, and that's at Paradise Park ATL. For those coming to FIFA World Cup, now listen, June and July, Paradise Park is open for corporate buyouts. You want your athletes to come and get refreshed along the waterfront? Paradise Park.
Okay, Paradise Park. Contact them. Y'all, my question to you is this, and I love that you put that out there with the FIFA World Cup, because that's necessary. That's a very high performing environment that will be happening for a very long period of time. I think it's like mid-June to mid-July. It's a very long, it's longer than a month.
Yeah.
It's a very long period of time. Do that for your players. Do that for the sports teams, the staff, right? The executives, all of that. So many of you all are coming. Come and have a time to just pause and rest in the midst of everything. My question to you is this. Gosh, thank you for this episode.
Yeah.
Absolutely fantastic. My question to you is this. There's so many different ways I can go with this, and I'm just really drawing in the exact message that's necessary to come through right now in this moment. The high-performing life, the high-performing spiral, because that's what it is. It's a spiral because it's going down. It's going down. That's what causes the burnout. There's a call here for you to reset so you can rise. We got to get back to the basics of life. A heart that is pure, a mind that is clear. And there's a space that exists called Paradise Park that is here for us to do so. Before you go to the psychologist, before you go to the therapist, before all these things, before you turn to your pills, come on somebody, and all these vices, before you pick up your vape, because a lot of people vaping out here, come to Paradise Park. Because you're desiring that reset. But all those things won't reset it. A doctor's going to put a Band-Aid on it. That's going to lead to more medication. And your vices are going to end up putting you in some type of terminal illness, which will eventually kill you. Listen to this episode again and again and again and again, and share it with every single person, not only that you know, but that you come in contact with. Because the truth is, if we all went to Paradise Park, my God, we could reverse all this BS that's currently happening. Take what resonated with you today and carry it with you through the week. Always remember to keep your soul hydrated, your spirit fortified. And until next Tuesday at 6 p.m., stay elevated. Thank you. Absolutely amazing. Fantastic.
Thank you.
Yes.
Stay elevated, baby.
Stay
Come
elevated, honey.
on.
Yeah, honey, I'm coming to Paradise Park.
That's right.
I'm coming down. I believe there will be even more clarity because there are some things that's necessary for me to get clear on. And there's going to be more clarity that comes from that